Are you hanging up wanted posters? Are you hanging up wanted posters or what?
Should, right?
You should, right? What is that?
School way.
What is that? What is it?
It's a program that I run with the city.
You run it?
Yeah, so it's a youth program.
Alvarado.
Yes, sir.
Oh, it's a youth program.
Yeah, so what it is it gives young men and women ages 14 to 20 an opportunity to train and learn how to respond to calls as actual police officers would. They learn all the laws, all case law. They learn how to do things like we do.
They learn all the laws.
They learn everything. Yep.
All the laws.
Yep.
All the laws.
Texas Penal Code. Yep.
All of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
You don't even know all of them.
I know I have a pretty good grasp on a lot of stuff, especially with Constitution and stuff. But all that comes with time and experience.
What's 3802 of the Texas Penal Code?
38.02 is going to be, hold on, don't tell me.
I won't.
Don't tell me. 3802 is going to be, that's going to be a property offense. Probably 3802. Don't tell me. 38. Shut down to my. There's a 3802. Is that harassment? Trespass? No, 3802 graffiti. No, it's not graffiti. Is it graffiti? No.
If you know any code, it should be this one.
Hold on. 3802. But you're saying penal code. Texas. 38.02. 3802. 3802. Wait. Give me a chance. 38. Is that going to be stalking?
No.
It's not stalking.
That's a serious crime. This is a code that you use every day on every single stop.
3802.
It's the one code. If you know any codes, you should know this one. What's the first thing you ask somebody for when you stop them?
You're not talking about failure to ID, right?
Failure to ID.
Okay, so I got something that
3802,
would
Texas
somebody
Penal
who
Code.
is detained have to produce a license or an ID to a police officer?
Is that what you're saying? When somebody's detained, they have to produce
No,
an
I'm
ID?
asking.
You're asking me?
Yeah.
You said you're going to teach youth all the penal codes.
Yeah. So
And you're asking me? I'm not a youth.
Oh,
Okay, so I know when you have to ID.
Okay.
Right, but
Okay,
what are
when
you
is-
saying?
When is it?
You're saying it's detained?
No, I'm asking you, if somebody who's detained by a law enforcement officer, are they required to identify themselves?
They're required not to lie.
Okay. So,
But if they don't give a name, it's okay unless they've been lawfully arrested.
yeah, you're absolutely right.
Right. But if they're a witness or they're detained, then they are not allowed to lie or give a fictitious name.
Yeah, they can't give a fictitious name.
Right.
You're absolutely right, but only when somebody's been lawfully arrested. No, the question
Lawfully.
is if somebody lawfully arrested. Now, on a traffic stop, is somebody lawfully arrested?
No, they're under administrative arrest. I would say when you're being booked, you're lawfully arrested because you can technically tell somebody they're arrested, take them to the station, and detain them for 72 hours and then release them, right? So you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? So if you can still release somebody without saying they're under arrest, then they're not lawfully arrested yet. But when you book them, there's no turning back from that.
What are the so one of the coolest things as far as police officers that a lot of them don't know, especially down south. And because I watch Mexican Buddy, I watch Jack Miller.
Oh my God, Mexican Padilla?
Yeah. So I watch all these guys.
He's in jail right now.
And, so check this out. So Chapter 14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, when officers may arrest without a warrant, right? A peace officer may arrest for any crime committed within their presence or view. So a traffic stop.
Well, no, not any crime. There are 3 crimes you're not allowed to arrest somebody for. There's a new one.
There's 2.
There's a new one now.
Okay, which one is that?
The new one is texting while driving. You're not allowed to arrest for that. You're not allowed to arrest for open container in public.
No open container was.
And you're not allowed to arrest for speeding.
Speeding, you're absolutely right.
Yes.
I haven't heard about the text one.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
And I haven't confirmed it. I just heard it from an officer, so I can't really believe that.
Yeah.
But that was told to me, so I'd have to confirm
I
it.
haven't heard about the text one. Yeah, so, and that's not something.
But so not every crime, though. We do have two confirmed.
So
That,
any crime committed within the presence or
Except speeding
with the
or-
exception of speeding and open container.
Yeah, open
Exactly.
container.
But typically, when somebody, and it's the argument of folks who don't want to ID themselves. Sometimes I do take it the direction of.
Well, okay, if you've really committed a crime and you're going to be arrested, right? I mean, you don't necessarily want to go to jail, right? So I wouldn't say to push it. I wouldn't suggest pushing it until you're booked, right? Because, yeah, you can arrest somebody, right? But when it comes into play, yeah, but when people don't want to ID, if they haven't committed a crime, right? Like say you get a call, okay, and somebody is saying, oh, there was a disturbance, and so you might have reasonable articulable suspicion to detain somebody, but you don't have enough to arrest them.
So
You know what I mean? And so then I would say, well, you don't have to ID, and you might want to push it.
Yeah,
But
when somebody, identification purposes, when somebody's detained, you're absolutely right. They're not required to identify
Yeah.
themselves to anybody.
And what
Yeah,
I
we're
would say-
lawfully arrested, but you're absolutely right about the line.
what I would say to an officer is, if I don't give it to you, are you going to arrest me? And if they say they're going to arrest me, but like say they think they have enough, to make the arrest, I might rather just get a ticket than actually be arrested and be booked. So I would say, are you going to arrest me if I don't give you my name, right? And if they say yes, then I'm probably going to give my name.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
But yeah, when somebody's
But I would ask.
arrest, when a police officer has probable cause to believe that a crime has been committed,
Yeah.
that you're,
Yeah.
they have probable cause to believe that you're a suspect. Yeah,
But-
that's when the requirement to ID comes into play.
Well-
that's when you can face. Yeah, when somebody's been lawfully arrested.
Well,
Hey,
after they've been lawfully arrested.
is this even mine? I'm freaking grabbing for
You're
stuff.
trying to ask you what you wanted, but you're
No,
talking.
you're absolutely right. Yeah, so
But you have to be asked after you've been lawfully arrested by a peace officer.
yeah, so
And so
I've
that-
actually practiced that before. Somebody's refused to give me a name for a classy misdemeanor, but
Uh-huh.
it is a crime.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
my presence of
Sure,
use.
sure.
So me, with my powers of warrantless arrest, I say, you know what? For example, I'm going to say a city ordinance violation. For
Sure.
example. Let's say possession of styrofoam, or let's say possession of a can on the river or something like that. Well, why do I have to identify myself to you? Well, because you're possessing a disposable container on the river, and it's against a violation of city ordinance. Or you're possessing glass on the river, which is it's a process misdemeanor.
Let's back up. I want to be real clear that I'm not trying to teach people that have committed a crime on how to not ID. Okay, there's no way to get around that. If you've committed a crime in the presence of an officer, you are going to jail or you're getting a ticket. And if you don't give your ID, you're going to go to jail.
A peace
Right?
officer may arrest.
But if you don't tell them who you are, they're going to.
Yes.
If you committed a crime in their presence, they are going to, right? What I'm talking about is when you haven't committed a crime, right? See, filmers run across this all the time, right? Where you said you watched Jack Miller,
Yeah.
you watch Mexican
Yeah,
Padilla,
I've seen some of those.
you know what I mean? So they get stopped and asked for ID, you know what I mean? Sometimes an officer demands their ID,
Okay, so watch
right?
this.
And they push it because they haven't actually committed a crime, right?
So-
Just because you're filming or,
So, so some of the stuff.
Jack Miller is good. Mexican Padilla, no
So-
comment on
so-
Mexican
so
Padilla.
There's been some breach of the peace stuff that I've seen. As far
Breach
as Jack
of the
Miller
peace.
goes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so the way
Actually,
I
I've never seen him breach the peace, and
I
I've
haven't
never
seen
seen him
videos.
commit
I haven't-
disorderly conduct
yeah.
either. I think he's been charged with it 47 times and never once been convicted.
so
You guys might want to brush up on that too. What's the code for disorderly conduct?
4201, A1, 2, 3,
4201.
beyond. Yeah,
What's the
4201.
code for interfering?
Interference. I don't know the exact
38
statute number.
3815.
Yeah, so the statute numbers. When you have time to, we know the violations.
Yeah, you don't need to know them.
Yeah, but the actual statute numbers, those kind of hard. They're more broken into I know 30s, property crimes. Then you have crimes against public.
Well, the 38
and things like that.
3801 is definitions. 3802 is failure to ID.
So in my
3803
opinion-
is evading.
So watch this. So in my opinion, when somebody goes into a public place, it doesn't matter if it's a courthouse or not, and they're throwing fingers and everything like that, and causing people to react and get all amped up and stuff like that.
Did you say causing people to react?
Yeah, and getting amped up and things like that.
So I'm responsible for somebody else's reactions?
So offensive gestures, or gestures that, just by their mere display, are offensive in nature, and they cause people to be offended.
They have to cause a breach of the peace.
They have to cause a breach of the peace. So if you have a substantial group of the public, reacting like, hey, that's not, why are you doing that in here? To me, that's a breach of the peace.
Are you familiar with Cohen versus California?
What now?
Cohen versus California, Supreme Court case? See,
Educate me.
I will, because that's the case that says fuck the draft is appropriate to say in a courtroom.
Yeah.
Right? So just because there's a breach of the peace doesn't mean that it's justified.
So
Okay, so flipping off a police officer or anybody...
I'm not allowed to be offended.
Right,
Me-
but
me-
even if
I'm
somebody
not allowed.
else was offended that I'm flipping you off, which I'm not flipping you off, right? I'm not flipping you off.
No,
but
not at all.
but even if somebody else said they were offended, even if somebody else came up and hit me because I flipped you off, they're the criminal, not me. I did not cause them to be offended. Right, I have a right to do that.
Yeah,
see?
you can't.
And I can flip off somebody else, but it's more my actions, right? Like if I start going after them, and I'm like, F you, I'm gonna attack you, or I'm gonna beat your ass or something, right? But if I'm like backing up, saying I'm gonna kick your ass, and I'm backing away, well, that's not disorderly conduct,
So you can't use force against somebody just based on verbal stuff.
Yeah.
Just because you're mouthing off to somebody or whatever doesn't mean that it doesn't give them the right.
It doesn't
to use
give them the right.
force against you. So
I mean, which would be
you have to-
disorderly conduct, I think disorderly conduct should be used for soliciting sex or describing sexual acts. See, if you describe a sexual act, that's obscenity.
You'll find stuff under obscenities, and you'll
That's
find other things
obscenities.
that
But like the F word, that's vulgarity. And vulgarity is protected free speech. You see, so you can use the F word in many ways legally. But if you're using it describing a sexual act or soliciting a sexual act, then it can be offensive.
It's the officer's job to articulate how verbal utterance of any kind of profanity
Verbal
would
utterance
would
has
incite,
to cause
would cause an immediate breach of the peace.
Yes.
It's the officer's job to articulate that.
It is the officer's job, yeah.
No, that's 100% agree. Yeah, so man.
But I'm not Jack Miller.
Oh,
Okay, I don't do what Jack Miller does. I'm all for him.
Yeah.
Mexican Padilla, I have no comment.
So-
but I'm not them, right?
So,
and
I mean-
I film you guys, and I like to meet you beforehand. You know what I mean? I'm no threat. I'm not gonna I just film. You know what I mean? And actually, I have nothing against you. You know what I mean?
no. So
I don't think every video needs to be
I'm
bad.
here, so it's very much our job to protect and uphold the Constitution. Just as much as anybody
Protect and
else.
uphold
That's
the
what
Constitution.
That's what I'm all about. I'm not interested in violating any kind of rights or anything.
Right.
Matter of fact, one of the very first things that we learn, the very first things I teach our youth is the Fourth Amendment.
The Fourth Amendment.
Yeah, everyone's secured in their persons, properties, and papers against
It
all
doesn't say
unreasonable
that.
searches. Yep, against all unreasonable searches and seizures.
You said everyone?
Yeah.
Is
We
the
all
word
are. All US
everyone in
citizens.
the Fourth Amendment?
Yeah, where all of our
No, it's
citizens
not.
are protected.
No, it's not. Bullshit.
Yeah, so all of our-
Bullshit.
So
Bullshit. It
all of our
says the
citizens are
people.
protected. The people. We are.
It doesn't say citizens.
Yeah, y'all are all. Everyone.
Excuse me, you are a servant of the people.
I am a servant.
How can you be a servant of the people and one of the people at the same time?
Well, I have rights too. When I'm off duty, yeah, I have rights.
Oh my goodness. You're under oath 24 hours a day.
All the time.
That means that here's an oath and you're under it.
I am
And that
under
oath
yeah.
belongs to the people. So you're under the people.
I-
You're a
I
servant.
am a
You
public-
serve
I'm
the
a public
people.
servant. I do not have the same benefits as other. In other words, like you're saying, if somebody throws a finger to me or somebody's going off on me, I don't have a. I can't be offended.
You can't be
especially
offended.
me being in uniform.
So you clearly
I'm
don't
not
have
here
rights.
No, but I am a citizen of the United States.
You
and I
are
do
a
have rights under the
citizen.
court. I
Well,
do have
it
rights
doesn't
under the
say citizens have rights.
So-
Nowhere in the Constitution does it say citizens have rights.
So
it says the
it's right of
people
the
have
people.
rights.
It's the right of the people.
The
And
right
I am
of the people,
We are
not
all.
the right of the citizen. You just said you're a servant
I'm
of
a
the
public
people.
servant. Yes, I am that also. So yeah, I'm a
No,
public
you
servant.
are that only.
So
Like, see, they
so are
here
you?
at
Let
Starbucks.
me ask you this: are you telling me that somebody can come into my house, or somebody can seize or take something from me without probable cause or without a warrant, just because I'm a public
No,
servant?
no,
I have
because
those rights too. I
not a
am
right.
protected under the Fourth, just like everybody else. I'm protected under the 8th, under the 1st, under the 2nd. Yep.
the
I'm
first,
protected.
the first belongs only to the people.
Yeah.
The second belongs only to the people. The
How-
fourth, let me
how-
finish. The
okay.
fourth says the right of the people to be secure in their person.
Properties and
You
effects.
are a
Papers and
person,
effects. Yeah.
not one of the people. The Fourth Amendment provides you protection from unreasonable
Yeah,
search and
unreasonable
seizure.
search.
But that's a qualifier.
Yeah.
Unreasonable. But the people have a right to be secure.
They do have
Full stop.
absolutely.
But persons have a privilege to be secure from unreasonable search and seizure.
Everything's based on
But the
reasonable.
people, there's no reasonableness. The people are secure. They have a right. The persons have a privilege commonly referred to as a right. The Fifth Amendment, again, not a right. The word right does not appear in the Fifth Amendment. It's a privilege commonly referred to as a right.
Everyone has the right to counsel. Everyone has the right against self-incrimination. The
They're
people do.
called
We all-
rights, but they're not rights.
And the reason I know is because I give them to everybody. Everyone I inform everybody that is lawfully arrested under
Well, privileges cannot be denied, cannot be deprived,
No.
but it's still a privilege.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a privilege and a right.
Yeah, so these are guaranteed rights.
No,
under
they're
the
not.
Constitution. Yeah.
You need to look again because the framers knew how to use the word right. They used it 3 times.
Yeah. The people, like you said, the people have a right. The Constitution protects everybody. It protects all the United States citizens.
It does
Protects us
protect them, but in different ways.
all. So I don't treat anyone any different than I do anyone else.
Well,
It
you're
doesn't matter
supposed
who they
to.
are.
You're supposed to serve
So-
the people and
Yeah.
protect the citizens.
Probable
You're not
cause,
supposed to
so-
get them mixed up.
Yeah, so like I said, yeah, I'm a public servant. But do I have rights like everybody else? Yeah, I do.
No, you
I do.
don't.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
There's
Do you
a
have the
saying
right to free
stated-
speech?
Do I have the right to speech? I sure do.
Then why do you have to wear that uniform and I don't?
When I am in this uniform, I represent my department and
Stick to free
there are
speech.
certain- I
Why
can
is
say-
your free speech taken away
So
right now and mine isn't?
I can verbally express what I feel, but will that cost
No,
me my
you-
job?
Well, yeah.
Will it cost me my job? Will it be a policy violation?
Yeah.
Maybe. I could lose my job.
You
for
could
expressing
lose your
myself.
job, but see what happens when you lose your job is you get your rights back.
Yeah. So.
But right now you don't have them. You have
I have
privileges.
rights just like everybody
No,
else.
you can't have rights and privileges at the same time.
I do,
That'd be too
don't-
powerful. Then
I
you'd
don't-
be
I don't have
stronger than the
privileges.
people.
The only so
You
I
have
don't
privileges.
right now, I have rights. So just
No,
like
you don't have
everybody
rights.
else. So yeah.
Does it say the right of the police officers?
No, I take an oath under
Does it say the right of the persons?
So
Does
my
it say
job-
the right of the
my job
citizens?
is to uphold my mission statement for my department. It's to uphold the Constitution of the United States, which I do, and I take great pride in. As a matter of fact, some of the best conversations I've had were with some of the folks that that I find them in a bad spot, and sometimes I do have the probable cause. I do take them into custody, but I still treat them like people. I advise them of their rights, and
They're
I
not
am
people.
obnoxiously straightforward.
When you take someone into custody, they
I'm
have
taking their
no
rights.
rights.
I'm taking.
They're
No,
in
they do have
custody.
rights.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they
They're
do.
in custody.
When you take somebody's liberty away,
You're
That
you're
doesn't mean
admitting
they
you're
don't have
taking their
rights.
liberties.
you take their liberty, you restrict their freedom of movement, but they still have rights.
No, they now have privileges.
They have rights.
Nobody in custody has rights. Do children have rights?
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
They have
What
rights.
right?
And I know this because I work with juveniles.
It doesn't matter if you work with them.
Yeah, so
What? That's not a rational argument. Okay, just because you
they
work
all
with
have,
them.
they all have rights.
No, they
Everyone,
don't.
even somebody who has been their
Children are
liberty taken
property
away,
of their parents. Children are property of their parents.
They have rights.
No,
They
they
have
don't.
rights just like everyone else. Parents
No,
just
they
take on
don't.
treating children however it is that they want to. They have the right to discipline their kids. They
They're
have the right to
confusing
enforce against
just because there are things that cannot be deprived. Privileges, the 14th Amendment says citizens shall not be deprived of any privileges or amendments or immunities. Okay, it doesn't say rights and powers. It says privileges and immunities, but they shall not be deprived. Just like a right shall not be deprived, but they're privileges, not rights.
So
it very clearly says so in the 14th Amendment. Only the people have rights. The citizens have privileges and immunities. You have privileges.
So one of the beautiful things about the Constitution is it puts the burden on us, and we have to be able to articulate why we should take somebody's rights away under the 4th. We have to articulate that. We just can't go around.
But you are taking them.
Huh?
When you take their rights, you're taking their rights, and they don't have rights. They now have privileges.
Under probable cause. But they still have rights after they're in custody.
No, they don't. You just said you take their rights.
You have to have probable cause.
Yes, but once you take their rights, you've taken their rights.
So, again, somebody who's in custody, do have rights.
What right? What
the
right?
right to counsel, the right to a speedy trial.
Those aren't called rights in the 5th Amendment. I don't know why you're calling it a right.
The rights.
Where does it say that?
The right to against self-incrimination.
Where is it called that in the Constitution?
Miranda v. So that's case law. Obviously, I mean, you're
I could also show you the case law that says it's not a right. It's a privilege commonly referred to as a right. The framers knew how to use the word right, and they used it exactly 3 times. Okay? 3 times. And when they didn't use it, it's not a right. You have to assume that the framers knew what they were doing when they authored the Constitution.
Yeah.
Okay? When they said the people have rights, we the people, the right of the people of press, of assembly, of religion, of speech, the right of the people to bear arms, the right of the people to be secure in their persons. That's the first time the word person was used. And it's used in the same sentence as people. So clearly they're not the same thing. The people have the right there, and they have a right to be in their person. T-H-E-I-R. The people own their person, their houses. I thought you were closing at 11. What time is it? Was it 10 tonight? All right, we got to get out of here, Alvarez. Is it 10?
It was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who's your your sergeant, or you have corporals?
Yeah, so my sergeant is Sergeant Walker. His badge number is 35. Yeah, so
what's your badge number?
Is 228. My name is Zach Alvarado.
You have 3 numbers, and your sergeant only has 2?
Yeah. So the supervisors, detectives, they only have 2 numbers. So they have 2-digit badge numbers. I have 3.
All right.
So patrolmen, us guys, we usually get 2. I mean, we usually get 3.
Usually get 3.
What is it you say? You're like, press on. And you're like, yeah.
Press on. Assemble forth. Legion about. Sound off. Amble. Pursue happiness with your life and your liberty on your property. And for God's sakes, exercise your 4th Amendment right as one of the people not to be in your person.
Whatever that means.
Press on. Yeah. Have a good day, Officer Fox. Press harder. Press now. Like, comment, subscribe. Spread the word. Right? Press on.
Master by the name of Bates, smoking more than all 50 states combined. Yeah, right, I gotta stay on the grind. I got no money, so my weed's on my mind. I hit the club, but you know I can't dance. 7 and 7 in my cutoff chance. Tie that shirt in my long ass hair. What part of how I look makes